Hi, welcome. I wanted to speak for a few minutes about the new moon that we're having this evening. It is exact at 9:55 p.m. on the eastern coastline. You must adjust for your own area in order to cast a chart for your location. Here on the eastern coastline, as I said, it'll be at 9:55. We have the sign. Let me take a look. We have the sign of Aries rising at the horizon, which places Pluto in Capricorn in the 10th house, as I said previously, so that this new moon is on the world axis in the cardinal signs, and the cardinal signs are the signs which initiate the season, and as such, they carry or imbibe the energy of initiation. So we are being initiated into this time frame here on this precious planet Earth, with endings and new beginnings. Whenever a door closes, another one opens. So we have that happening simultaneously during this time. For those who are paying attention and have been doing the work of being silent and shedding belief systems and the things that no longer serve them, you would have received some guidance just in your own inner knowing, like your heart, or you no longer want to engage in specific activity or with specific people or places and things. And those of us who have been engaging our inner knowing and honoring it, then you have been initiated into this new season, which does require to some degree that we shed the old skin, just as the moon has shed the light that was cast upon the disk as it was growing in light. Then it came to full illumination, that is the fullness of the story. And then the light begins to diminish as she sheds her petal. It's like shedding her skin. And or you can also liken it to a woman's moon cycle, where at the end of the cycle, she sheds the lining that has formed for what would have been a conception, right? So now that that's done, there was no conception, or if there was, then we have a little, a tiny little organism that begins to grow and grow and grow, and she gives birth in 9 months. Likewise, in life, we also gestate. We gestate ideas, we gestate ways of being in the world. And this is a time that we break patterns, right? So that we gestate our ability to move beyond the fray and beyond what has worked or not worked in the past. And we are more creative with life. I think that it's quite interesting that during this time we are advised this is not the time to engage in new activities, because the moon is shedding the very light of illumination. She's shedding it, so what becomes more prominent in our consciousness is our subconscious. And for that, we need to be relaxed, and we need to be in a place of comfort and just taking care of ourselves, so that we can allow for these inner realizations to surface. And we shouldn't be too busy if we can help it. Of course, we're taking care of business, because being irresponsible is not a signification for the new moon. So you want to be responsible, but you also want to be able to structure the time in your day so that you can engage in self-care. Now is not the time to fight, it's the time to actually make the space so that you can come at the world as the moon begins to grow in light with your new vision for what is possible for you, given the place where this new moon is taking place. And the moon is taking place, as I have said, in Virgo, in the east, in the western zodiac is taking place in Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of discernment. It's very logical, it's very methodical. Virgo is accused of being a perfectionist, but this is not the case. Virgo just wants to get it right. Virgo is innately and intrinsically motivated by a desire to be of service. And to be of service, you have to get it right, because otherwise, who are you serving but yourself, right? So you're also advised to close as many doors as possible during this time, while leaving ajar the door to your heart, the door that really makes you sing inside and makes you happy. Honor those perspectives and opportunities as you reduce and diminish your activity in the world, so that you can get ready for this new potential, that portal that is just being initiated as we go into the darkest, most quiet night this evening, with the moon reaching exact shadow at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time. The process of change is not easy. It can be a difficult journey. And if you optimize your self-care routine, which is another signification for the Western sign of Virgo, which is quite concerned with purification and cleanliness and minimalist approach to the environment, very, very focused on self-care. Diet is super important. Virgo rules the digestive system. And as you may know, it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules the nervous system. The digestive system and the nervous system are intimately connected. And so you're urged to purify, whatever that means to you. It's super important to take the time, drink lots of water and purify your space, purify your mind. Essential oils are perfect for that. Eucalyptus is a great purifier. And for those of us who are interested in spiritual upliftment, my go-tos are always Palo Santo and frankincense and myrrh and sandalwood. Sandalwood is very nice right now, so I highly recommend bringing that into your space. It is also crucial to, in our shedding theme, to empty the ashes of fires that have been present in your life. And by fires, I mean those things that you have felt passionately about, and people may have crossed you, or you may have grown in attachment to a situation. This is a time for letting go of all of that. This is not a time for attachments and broadcasting anything in your life. This is just as the moon increases in shadow and apparently hides her countenance from our sight. We also go within and we just keep our business to ourselves and engage in the practices that are most productive to health and happiness in our life. And this is a time for actually planting the seeds of desire within our awareness and having that clear vision. And so this would not be a time to pull out the seeds and start talking about them, or any of it. Just keep your privacy private, and keep your dreams and your goals right now between you and the divine. And you can easily share them with the divine by visioning those activities and those desires that you have, so that you imprint them in that fertile ground that is the new moon. That's also very important. Just as night turns to day, weakness can turn to strength. So keeping those challenges, not keeping them, but actually just believing in yourself and believing in the power of renewal and regeneration is super important, because that's exactly what is happening during a new moon. And it's quite interesting, right? That in the Eastern zodiac, this new moon is taking place in the sign of Simha, which is Leo, and it's taking place at 11 degree in Purva Falguni. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that. Yes, I am. And Purva Falguni, its temperament is red, is Pitta. So there's a lot of energy and fire there. And actually, fire is a great purifier right now. If you want to light a candle and stare, it's called Karkata. And if you want to light a candle and just watch the flame and allow it to impress upon your consciousness this purification, right? Fire does vibrate at a specific frequency, and it is meditation practice, actually, a contemplation practice to engage in these activities during this time. There's also the Agnihotra and the chants that go along with that. I am going to link a video for that in the description, and just listening to these chants in the proper meter. And I am going to link a video that has that in the proper meter and will share some knowledge with you about what it can potentially imbibe within your own frequency, so that you're in the know about what you're doing and you're not just following instructions because someone said you should do this or that. This is a scientific, it is part of the Vedic science and Vedic knowledge that we have from this age-old, timeless wisdom of India that predates common era since time immemorial, before any religion, Vedic science was. And so the deity of this nakshatra, and I'll explain what a nakshatra is in a bit, but before I get into that, the deity that represents this nakshatra goes by the name of Bhaga, and Bhaga actually means delight. And so we are encouraged during this time. Interesting, because Purva Falguni is also a nakshatra that supports purification, as would fire. And Bhagha, its ruling deity, which means delight, is actually a solar ray. They're called the Adityas, and the Adityas, they're 12. So they're 12 solar rays, right? I wonder why it's 12. And there are 12 solar rays, and this one is delight, and it delights in comfort. It delights in self-care. It delights in affection, rest, and relaxation. All wonderful practices for a settled digestive and nervous system, as is represented by the sign of Virgo. Purva Falguni also has a connection to the Shiva Lingam. And it's interesting that it is not Shiva himself, but the lingam, the Shiva lingam, which is a regenerative organ, right? So in that way, we are also taking care of ourselves for the purpose of regeneration and integration. And those are very valuable activities to engage in as the moon goes to new. I also want to mention, I don't want to forget, that during this time of reincarnation and rebirth, this relaxation and regeneration that we allow within the physiology actually prepares us for these new messages that will start coming in and the new activity that will be initiated. Remember, it's a cardinal cross on the world axis in the Western astrology, which is the third dimensional level of reality. And so we will be called on to initiate new actions. And it is such an amazing time, actually, for honoring your inner knowing and taking action, fiery action, with regards to those things that mean to you the most. At the soul level, we want that fire. We want that inner passion and creativity to take action on the things that means something in our lives, right? And in order to prepare ourselves to fan that fire, we want to ensure that our physiology is in rest so that it can regenerate, rejuvenate during this time of renewal that is represented by the new moon. And so that'll be very important. It is a time for seeding new thoughts, as I mentioned. It's not a time to analyze new actions. Just take action. And taking action can sometimes happen by not taking action, right? Like if you are tempted in taking action towards something that you know won't serve you, then not taking action is also action. And this is actually a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which tells us that no inaction is also action. So sometimes allowing is the best action that we can take. The time for review of the past has passed. It's already done, right? We're in a cardinal axis with the new moon taking place on the cardinal cross, meaning that the cardinal signs are those which initiate the seasons, and they are Capricorn for the winter, Cancer for the summer, um, uh, Cancer for the summer, Aries for the spring, and which is the summer. Oh no, Aries for the summer and Libra for the fall. And so the mutable signs are the signs which follow the cardinal, right? So mutable means changeable, means that they, after the season has been ushered in, after the season has been ushered in, there's a fixed sign, and then after the fixed sign, there's a mutable, because the mutable is the last sign before the change of season happens again, meaning before the coming in of the following cardinal sign. If you didn't get that, it's okay. You don't need to worry about that. I think that our concern right now is best served by focusing on the fact that we are on an initiating stage of life. And with the cardinal cross imprinted on the chart for the new moon. In actuality, Virgo is a mutable sign. So we are in the change from the summer to the fall, which will be initiated by Libra after Virgo in the Western zodiac. And so we want to honor that change and take advantage of the fact that this is the energetic potential that is being supported during this time, and allow that change to come and cleanse like a stream, run through our life, and allow us the new that can potentially come to be as we enter this amazing harvest season, where we will each reap what we have sown, since the initiatory energies of Aries, which actually initiate the cycle of growth in the Western Hemisphere, in the Northern Hemisphere rather, and with the spring. And we know that there are many celebrations that take place at that axis when the spring season, such as Easter and other traditions of knowledge, which celebrate the new beginning. The beginning of the astrological year is actually celebrated at that time as well. So cast aside the old and outworn. This is truly a time for shedding your skin. Just letting it go. Just let it go. We're going to get a lesson on letting go when the trees start to let go of the leaves. It is the natural cycle and inclination of life to rejuvenate and regenerate itself. allow that to wash you, to wash over your life, so that you can engage in the pruning necessary so that after the winter season, which is coming up, this in just 3 months, you can go back like a perennial plant right back into your root and harness the energetic potential that exists at your core for the new growth that's to come 3 months later in the spring. And so these are the initiatory fires that we have right now. A little bit more on Pura Falguni is that it is highlighted by sweet speech. We speak the sweet truth, as my teacher Maharshi Mahesh Yogi likes to say, right? So we're lively, we're friendly, we're not trying to, we're not going to become, how would I say, mean about claiming our space. Setting up boundaries does not have to be hurtful to, you don't have the right to be hurtful to others. You can speak your desires quite easily into the environment and the people around you who love you and care for you, because why would you surround yourself with anything but people who love you and care for you and have demonstrated that through the test of time? Saturn is retrograde. Saturn retrograde is testing the foundations of all relationships that we have with ourselves and with others, with the environment, with the door, with the wall, with our home, with the physical structures, with our own physiology, with everything is being tested. Remember, Saturn rules an earth sign, which is Capricorn, and Capricorn is none other than the foundation. This new moon in the Western zodiac is also taking place in an earth sign, which is the sign of Virgo. And Virgo is of the virgin birth, it's of purity. And so the immaculate conception of that which is born of the mind. We advocate, Virgo is also a sign of service. We are in service to others when we're called upon to act. We act in the best interest of all involved. We minister to those in a higher position, that we can honor and be safe in our assumptions that if we have chosen someone for leadership, or if someone is in leadership, we minister to their objectives, because their objectives are our objectives. And if that's not the case, then we wouldn't be ministering or considering that person in a position of leadership. And ultimately, the position of leadership belongs only to you, because right now, with that new moon in Virgo, we are sovereign. And sovereignty literally means self-government. You take care of yourself. There is power here to influence others, but only in so much as you can influence yourself, because everything is a vibration, everything is a vibratory frequency and resonance that we have with the environment. And when you're resonating at a place of power and influencing your own life, then that translates into the environment. A message that I received, an inner knowing that I was able to capture in my own thinking is about art as an economic engine, right? And how the creative spirit of art is pure abundance and prosperity. And how when I am being creative with my time and with my speech and with my thinking and my writing, then that translates into creativity through the flow of abundance and prosperity in my life, wisdom and health. And so I am prosperity, abundance, wisdom, and health. I am pure love. I am an expression of the divine. I am an expression of the infinite potential of the entire universe in the finite physical form. I am an expression of the creation of the creator. And we all are. You have to claim it. No one's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to tell you, or many people will. And whenever folks have come across this knowledge and go out and try to impress others with the knowledge, they get pushback. And so you have to realize it for yourself. And the way into the knowledge is through yourself. You have to reclaim the inner space, that inner silence, which is none other than the intelligence that sits as the basis of who you are. It's the intelligence that listens, it's the intelligence that sees, the intelligence that moves the vocal cords to be able to pronounce words. It's an intelligence that is inherent in the physical structure. That intelligence is truly who you are. And so this is a time when we nurture that intelligence by taking real good care. Unfavorable activities during this time, according again to the Eastern tradition and Purva Falguni, being that nakshatra, that lunar mansion where the new moon is taking place. This is a soul directive. This is what the Eastern Jyotish, the Vedic science, teaches us about the zodiacal wheel, that when we follow that precession of the equinox, we are, as I understand it, we are in actuality, we're activating our soul's growth and potential, right? The Western chart will tell you how it's showing up, right? At the third dimensional relative level of existence. But if you want to know how to feed your soul and spirit for the activities that are taking place at that physical level, then we turn to the Eastern chart. And so that's why I find the Eastern chart, I've been following it for a number of years, over a decade, I would say about 20 years now. And it has been the greatest tool for self-transformation. Both Eastern and Western astrology have just been a saving grace, along with my meditation, Ayurvedic herbs and practices, yoga, and just devoting time to my own personal growth and development. Balancing the energy between the body and the mind is also an activity that is supported in the Virgo season. So any inclination on your part to take place in those activities and rituals will bring about the greatest growth and potential lively in your environment, where you can actually walk into a room and desire something and it comes to you quite easily. And so we are able to eliminate words like struggle and challenge and obstacles from our vocabulary, because we find greater ease when we're out in activity. That is not to say that challenges won't come, but when they do, we see them as opportunities for growth, and we are more inclined to go past the comfort zone and go through those contortions and really go for the highest, that and believe that we deserve the best. It is possible to suffer from digestive issues during this time if you're not taking care. Do not get too exacting about details. That can happen. That is a negative expression of this very powerful dynamic that is present in Virgo, who wants to get it right. And Virgo is such an incredible, Virgo is the virgin birth. Virgo is the power to birth that Christic consciousness, which allows us to be self-aware all the time and manifest in support with nature our most intimate desires and create opportunities where none may have existed in the past. So I think it's super important. And don't seek recognition during this time. Lay low profile, particularly over the course of the next 3 days. You will see the moon growing in light in the western horizon at sunset, approximately 3 days from today. That would be a time to, you know, come out of, it's almost like we're gonna burrow a little hole. We're not gonna hide, but we're going to take a step back. And those, actually rest and activity are the steps of progress. According to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, in his Science of Creative Intelligence, he highlights that rest and activity are the steps toward progress. And so right now is beautifully set up for rest. Take advantage of that. Get in a hot tub, light a candle this evening, journal, journal about your vision and all the things that you're letting go of. And actually, best to journal about the things that you are bringing into your life, those things that you have let go of. That journaling would have been more supported if it had taken place a few days ago, maybe 5 days ago. Right now, because the ground is so fertile for manifestation, I would highly encourage you to write about those things that you want to bring to life. And whatever has been, has been. And well, I think that's it. I think I did it. And my name is Sophia. This is your channel. I am Soma, Nectar of the Gods. You can find my information in the description box. I will be leaving a link for the Vedic chants, which enliven in the environment and in your own body. You are vibration. Everything is a vibratory frequency. And when we play these chants and when we listen to them intently, what we're doing is that we're enlivening our frequency with that coherence that is present for the element. And this is the element of fire. It is the element that is present at the soul level in Purva Falguni. Remember, Bhaga means delight, which is the ruling deity for Purva Falguni. And delight in rest, relaxation, delight in regeneration, and I mentioned everything. It's actually symbolized by the legs of a bed, the front legs of a bed, and more likely a hammock, which is, a hammock. How busy do you get in a hammock? You're just like curled up almost in a fetal position. I highly recommend that for you today. All right, I'm going to be quiet now. It's been so delicious to leave this message. Much love to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave in the comments, and I will answer each and every one. And please like, share, and subscribe. I certainly appreciate it with all my heart. All love to you, all blessings. May this new cycle that's about to begin, we're going into an eclipse. I'll be back with more information on that. For now, focus your attention within, take real good care of yourself and each other. All love. Thank you. Bye.